Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Bucci and today I am playing Spelunky, which is something completely different. Usually I'm playing Guild Wars 2, but so I decided to buy this game and have a little bit of fun with it. It's been out on PC for a couple of months now. I think it came out in late July, and it's been on Xbox Live for even longer, I think. And it's a HD remake of a game that came out, I don't know when it came out, but I think you can play it online for free. So if you're interested in this and you want to try it out a free version, then that's probably the best place to go. I'm not sure if there's a demo out for this HD remake, so maybe the older version might be a good place to go. So I laid off buying the game until now. I've known about it and I've seen YouTube videos about it and with it in there, and I was interested, but I wasn't entirely sure if I'd like it. So I laid off buying it. Now I've got it and I'm having a great time with it. So I'm going to use this time to kind of talk about what I like about the game, and just why I think it's a great title. I'm gonna basically try and sell it to you, but you know, it's up to you whether you want to buy this game. If you're interested, then I recommend buying it. It's not very expensive, and I'll get onto the replayability part later, but treat this as a sort of review, I suppose. I'm just gonna like run through my thoughts about the game. So this run you're seeing here is pretty bad. I had some better runs earlier, but I wasn't recording them. This one I die, I think, at the first jungle level, so it's not particularly good. Anyway, so it's a side-scrolling platformer, as you can see, with roguelike elements. So procedurally generated levels, permadeath, and the trademark of being quite tricky. Generally these games are. The trickiness of this game comes in because once you die, you're done. You have to start over, so no matter what you do in your run, unless you get an item which lets you survive and live again, then you're done. There are other games that I've played which incorporate similar elements. What two I can think off the top of my head are The Binding of Isaac and, to an extent, FTL Faster Than Light, because they both have this kind of procedural generation, permadeath, and both of them are fairly tricky. I don't think either of them, in my opinion, are as rewarding as Spelunky. I like The Binding of Isaac and I like FTL, but I do get frustrated by them, and I would find it difficult, especially with The Binding of Isaac, to just do another run after I failed a run on it. Whilst with Spelunky, I can go straight for a new run, even if I have a really stupid, frustrating death really early on in a run. I'd also say Spelunky is a little bit trickier than The Binding of Isaac, but I'm not so sure about Faster Than Light because luck seems to play quite a large role in that, with the placement of nebulas, etc. Anyway, for those who aren't aware, the goal of Spelunky is to get through as many levels as possible and find the City of Gold. It's kind of, it takes references and themes from things like Indiana Jones, stuff like that. There's a couple of quotes from him, you know, snakes, I hate snakes and stuff like that. It's all about collecting gold and items and making yourself, basically just collecting loot. It's kind of dungeon crawlery in that sense, but it's a roguelike. It's got randomly procedurally generated levels, and every time that means it's going to be different. There are also extra levels after the final boss, who is Olmec, and there's also actually another boss called Yama after that, who you can get to by finding some, well, supposedly secret doorway, but I think a lot of people know about it by now. The rewarding nature of this game, in my opinion, comes from the way you die in the most ridiculous ways. In The Binding of Isaac, deaths would be interesting because you'd be dying to all these weird creatures, but more or less it'd be the same. You got hit by an enemy's attack and you just die in the same way. In Spelunky, a myriad of things can happen. So, for example, you could throw a rock which triggers an arrow trap. The arrow ricochets, hitting you and knocking you into spikes, killing you instantly. Things like that make this game a real joy to play. Even when you're losing, you're getting something out of it. You're having a bit of fun and you're seeing really wacky things going on in it, which makes it really fun in my opinion, and a little bit more easy to get over all the... Why am I doing that? I can't tell why. Oh, I'm collecting gold. Sorry, I'm looking at the screen. So as I was saying, it's really easy to go straight back into another run once you die, because usually you've just found whatever's happened to be quite humorous, and it's a little bit more light-hearted than, say, a death in The Binding of Isaac, where it's like, damn, you got to X floor and now you've got to start all over again. Yes, you have to do the same in Spelunky, but it's a little bit more lighthearted, and I just think it's not a more casual game. Like I say, I think it's actually a little bit more difficult than The Binding of Isaac, which what makes it sort of easier is that you can just start over nice and easily at the end, because it doesn't feel as much of an upheaval to do another run, or at least in my experience. Also, you learn a little bit, like in all games like this, you learn every time you die. You definitely learn from your mistakes and you're like this. So here, I see that arrow trap. It took me quite a few deaths to work out that I can activate them by just dropping an object in front of them, and here comes the ghost. Almost died to the ghost here. But onto my final thoughts about the game, I guess. We're actually coming in a little bit early here, but who cares? So I think the ultimate strength of the game is definitely its replayability via, as I mentioned, the procedural generation, which means every experience is going to be different in some way. The levels are going to look different, they're going to be designed differently every time, things are going to be placed in different areas, you can get different items from boxes and in the shops and things like that, much like The Binding of Isaac and games of their ilk, and that's what, in my opinion, gives this a very long shelf life. I'm apparently, according to some people I know, I'm quite tight when it comes to my money, and admittedly I don't like shelling out money for a game unless I know I'm going to get a lot of hours out of it. So I usually go for, like, you know, big, I quite often go for big AAA titles, because quite often they have quite a lot of time in them, especially RPGs and games with RPG elements. So things like Mass Effect, I've got hours and hours into all of them in separate playthroughs, and they are, well, in my opinion, really fun. But I like to get good value for money in terms of hours spent enjoying it. Spelunky is £12, or I think that's $15, but I don't know any of that stuff that well. And if you like to buy games with a long shelf life, so you can play them again and again and get a lot of replayability out of them, I would highly recommend Spelunky. Just out of my experience with it so far. The other thing that I think is really cool is that they've also put in daily challenges. So you get a generated run, which is the same for everyone who's doing it. So you can compete with other people and on the high scores and with your friends or whatever, and see who does the best. And yeah, there's a bit of competition there. The game also has local multiplayer, which includes like a deathmatch mode and normal adventure mode, I think, which can be played multiplayer, which doesn't really interest me that much since I don't have much use for it at the moment, because I am a loner. So yeah, I don't make much use out of that, but everything else is great. The features in this game are awesome, and I'm probably going to do a few more Spelunky videos as well as my usual Guild Wars 2, so I will still do my structured PvP random build videos, and I'll probably do some other stuff as well, my build videos occasionally and my tips videos. But I just want to do a little bit of Spelunky. I might do a daily challenge every now and then, maybe, you know, I won't do it every day because I don't really feel like playing this every day, but I will play it when I feel like it, and I'll probably put some Spelunky videos up once I get better at it. So yeah, if you're subscribed, or if you're thinking to subscribe, be ready to see some more Spelunky on my channel. So yeah, that's about it from me, I think. If you enjoyed this video, guys, please give it a like. If you want to see more videos like this one, you want to see Guild Wars 2 videos, you want to see any sort of videos, especially Guild Wars 2, I'm going to do my, well, I've already said what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a whole lot. My PvP videos will still be up, as well as build videos and tips videos. That's the type of thing I specialise in, and beginners tutorials and things like that. If you want to see all of that and more, probably, then hit the subscribe button and it will appear in your sub box, unless your sub box is broken, and mine still is, which is getting annoying. So yeah, that's about me done. That's enough of me, I think. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone, and I will see you later.